welcome to another section of Health Corner on MSTV. As we always do, we discuss different topics on health, and today we are talking about sickle cell. It's going to be a very interesting discussion because I have two important personalities in the studio with me. But I'll do the necessary introduction after a commercial break. Before the break, Health Corner is sponsored by MSTV auction cars and HAJIA juices. Do you need a car? Do you need a car on a budgeted plan? Do you need a car to make you feel comfortable? Do you need a car that it's worth your money? Do you need a car that gives you value for your money? Contact MS Auction Cars on 0554499929 or 0265455525. We'll go for a quick commercial break. When I come, I'll introduce my guests.
Malama Fatima dabar dan Adam ai maka jifa ne na tsawon shekaru koko muggan aljanai sun mamaye gangan jiki an zaga babu magani haka zalika kasuwa ne kure babu kasuwa an maka jifar cutar hepatitis B da ma diabetes dalibi na neman fahimi koko ilimi don ci gaba da karatu sai a ziyarci reshin malama dangana don samun waraka an san mutum an san cinikin sa an gwada magungunan malama dangana kuma an shaida magungunan na magance cututtuka nan take magungunan na zuwa ne a samfarin garin powder sabulu ko komai an iya samu malama dangana a angon nan da ke Pokyasi ni ayi ka dau mota duk inda kake na zuwa a masama ka sauka Pokyasi ka nemi tashar Abule kuma ni ayi nan za ka samu inda malama dangana take don karin bayani kuma za ka kira akan wannan lamba 0244693612 malama dangana Allah ya kara miki dangana.
As I said earlier, today we are discussing sickle cell, and I have in the studios with me, or let them do the necessary introduction, okay? I want them to do the talking so that you see how important they are to the topic we want to discuss today. HAJIA, welcome.
Thank you.
We want to know your name and...
So, I'm Dr. QUARNDAR, ISSIFU RAHINATU of General Hospital.
Wow. And Dr. QUARNDAR, Doctor of Medicine,
Doctor of Medical Lab Science.
Wow, this is really great. And we have in the studios another important HAJIA.
FAILA is the model's model, the CEO of Shamfiji Modeling House.
And also the author of
Striving to Success with Sickle Cell.
Sickle cell.
Wow. Today, as we are discussing sickle cell, we cannot discuss sickle cell without bringing HAJIA FAILA. She just wrote a book about sickle cell, Striving to Success with Sickle Cell. It's a very broad topic that we know a lot of people don't even want to come out to talk about it, especially those who have sickle cell. And she did so well by writing a book on it about her experience and striving to success with sickle cell. But we want to come to our doctor. We want to find out, when we say sickle cell, what is sickle cell?
So sickle cell actually has to do with the shape and nature of our red blood cells. So when we are talking about the cell, let's look at the cell structure before we look at what the condition itself is. So for one to be said to have a sickle cell in the body means that you have a red blood cell that is not of the normal shape.
Okay.
So we know that the red blood cell, its shape is more or less like a donut. Let me bring it to our local. A donut without the hole inside.
Okay, so a round
donut.
Okay.
Without the hole inside.
Okay.
So that is how the normal red blood cell looks like, and it's very flexible. And it's very smooth because it travels through the blood vessels and it carries oxygen to the tissues. But for someone or for your cells to be said to be sickled, it means that they are not, or your red blood cells are no longer that shape, that donut shape.
Oh, okay, they are not round.
Yes, so it means that they are sickled. They are more of a C shape, like this farmer's tool. known as a sickle that we use to cut grasses. So I don't know how
that's
many of
C-shape.
it. That's
Okay,
C-shape.
I've seen how.
And when the cell become like that, its oxygen carrying capacity is reduced, and it tends to cause a whole lot of complications, and that results in what the sickle cell disease.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I want to clear that it's not a deformity; it's just a disease.
Sickle cell actually is inherited, and so we can say it's a deformity from the gene level.
Oh, okay.
From the gene level. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. This is getting interesting.
Yeah.
HAJIA, being a sickle cell patient, or let's say being a person with sickle cell, when did you know that I have sickle cell?
Well, personally, I got to realize that I got to know about it at the age of 9.
Okay.
But then my parents, having had children with sickle cell, already know about it. But to me, it was not so clear to me until I was 9.
Oh, okay.
Before I got to know that this is me, or this is who I am. Because I'm not like other children that I see in my communities playing. Sometimes I'm restricted to do certain things.
Things that you want to
So I'm somebody who also like to ask questions. I'm curious since I was young. So I'm curious. I want to know what is it? What is wrong? Yeah. So that's how
you got to know.
Yeah.
Wow, interesting.
Very interesting.
It's very interesting. And at a younger age, and you're able to even ask questions, and you got the explanation right.
Yeah.
You were comfortable with what was explained.
Even my family, they call me, hey, journalist, because of how
I asked a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Even if I go to the hospital, you know, Africa here, if you go to the hospital, most of the doctors are not really into the work. Most of them. But there are a lot who are, knows what they are about. Sometimes you just go to the hospital, they check you, and then they won't tell you anything. They won't tell you what is wrong with you. To me, I actually sit the doctor down
and
ask him, okay, so how come my leg was swollen? How come my hand is this? How come I'm feeling pain here? Then they explain to me. So with the help of my parents and my doctors,
I'm able to know and understand the conditions that is associated with the disease. So, doctor, let's come back to you. I want to know what causes it. What causes sickle cell?
So like I said in my introductory submission, sickle cell is inherited, okay, and it has to do with genetics. So we know that before a child is born, you inherit your genes, or you pick up certain traits from both your mother and your father. So narrowing it down to sickle cell, what happens is you pick up one gene from your mother and then the other gene from your father, and that comes together to form what? Individual. So with sickle cell, in fact, let's just look at the types before we talk about the causes. So basically, when we are talking about the hemoglobin, that's kind of play a part in our red blood cells to be able to diagnose sickle cell, or to say someone has sickle cell. We do a blood profile. So we do something we call the sickling test, which is the basics to find out whether or not you are sickling positive or negative. And then we do the electrophoresis. So it is the HB electrophoresis that would actually tell us which particular trait you are carrying or gene you are carrying. And so when we run the electrophoresis, and then we come out to say that you are sickling negative. So it means that you don't have the gene that codes for the sickle cell. So it's either you are AA, sometimes even the AC, they still goes through this this crisis, but it's a bit mild. So we have the AA, the HBA, we have the HBS. So it is at that point that we say the child is what? Sickled. We also have something known as, or people that we refer to as the carriers. So they have the HBAS. So it means that the carriers only picked one of
Of
the
the trend.
HB, which is the HBS from
Okay.
either of the parents, and then the A from the other parent. And so the person is tend to be a carrier.
Okay.
But being a carrier doesn't necessarily mean that you would have a sickle cell disease. It only means that in future if you get married to somebody who is also a carrier, so there's a possibility,
that
1 out of 4 or 25% chances of you giving birth to a child that would be a sickle cell patient, or that would have the sickle cell disease.
Risky.
And that's
Because
very
a lot
risky.
of people are AS, and when they marry, they don't even check.
They don't check.
Their
Even in our community, I wanted to come back. I wanted to
So
come
that
to
is
them.
why this time around we are advocating for would-be couples to have this medical screening done before they get married, to prevent some of these occurrences.
Yes.
So you don't get married and then you give birth and you start having problems. You are running in and out of the hospital and you don't know why. And you know, I'm sure with your experience you would say that, or you can tell your viewers that sickle cell is very expensive these days. Having a sickle patient at home, it's not an easy thing. So you are always running in and out of the facility or the health sector or the hospital, and it can be so very frustrating, and it can even drain you emotionally.
Oh wow.
It can drain you emotionally. Yes. So back to the courses.
courses.
and even I had one topic
Okay, in
in
the
the book.
Okay.
That's this. I asked whether my father's wealth will run out. Whether
Yes,
his wealth
yes,
is going
yes,
to
yes.
finish.
Whether yes,
Okay.
Because
Yeah,
when I
because
see
it-
that the receipt and the money he's in
The
paying,
payment.
for your
Yeah.
health,
I was like, may God bless you. Because it's
Alhamdulillah.
not easy
I know.
as
I see.
compared to the previous days when we didn't know much about sickle
about
cell.
it. Okay.
But now it's expensive. And that is one reason why a lot of guys, when you are not married and they come
closer
approach
to
you,
you, they think
they
because
be like, hey,
can you
your
handle
money
the
will finish.
expenses?
Yeah, and all that. You see? So that's one of the challenges, and it's
With-
very, very sad.
yeah,
that's
very
true.
sad. Yeah.
Very
True.
sad.
That's true. That's true. So I want to talk about HAJIA's book. It's not really talking about it, but we wanted to know striving to success with sickle cell. You have to read it. You understand a lot about sickle cell. HAJIA, I hope that is it. And you might see the need to check for your sickling status before you get married. Okay, so HAJIA, did you write anything about advising people
Yes, of
in the book on?
Yeah, I
Yes.
did. I did myself, and
Okay.
then my parents also did.
Okay,
My father, my mother,
okay.
they did, as well as other sickle cell patients. And then my advice to teachers, employers, like everybody.
Okay.
So it's not just a book for only sickle cell
Okay.
patients, but
It's for everyone.
Exactly.
Okay. To know, you know, we
take
live
the
in a community that we don't really take
Ignorant.
medical exams serious. We are very, very ignorant. I myself, I know I'm a sickling carrier. It's something I got to know at a particular time because my mom is also a sickling carrier. So I made sure that when I was going to get married, I'm supposed to do the necessary
Medical checkup.
medical checkup. But this is a situation where we live in a community where
They don't
They
care
don't- they
about
don't-
it.
they don't.
care.
Yeah.
A
Doctor,
lady has gotten somebody to marry, or a man has gotten
a lady
to
that he
marry.
wants to marry.
That is it.
Yes.
Let's just do the marriage ceremony, and then that is it. Do you think about what after the marriage? That's the most important thing.
But
after the
doctor,
marriage.
I think we should talk about the generation where we have come. That's the 21st generation, and there are a lot of informations on the net, and we still see people getting married without doing the necessary medical examination. What would you say about this?
So
I know
of them don't
it's
know.
quite funny. Yes.
Some of them don't know.
it's not it's just interesting. So you see, this just reminds me of a case. So there was this young couple, would-be couples that walked into the facility for this premarital medical examination. And then at the end of the day, it came out they were both AS. The guy was AS, the lady was SC.
SC. Okay.
Yes. And so the advice was, you don't get married. And then their response was, we are so much in
In
love.
love.
And where we have gotten to, nothing can actually break us. They went ahead, they got married. So you see, because of the way this whole thing happened, the lady actually became a friend. They got married. Fortunately for them, or unfortunately for them, their first pregnancy, they were trying to find out whether or not the child would be a sickle cell patient. Ghana, we don't do the in vitro sickling test for the, if I say in vitro, so you check the sickling status of the baby whilst the baby is still in the womb. So they decided to travel out.
It's expensive.
Yes, very expensive.
Yes.
But these people I'm talking about actually traveled out, went to SA, went to South Africa. They did that, and then it came out the child they were carrying is actually a sickle cell. Like, it's the genes were just, it's funny, it was just SS.
Wow, this is.
You know what they did?
Wait, are they going to abort it?
They actually aborted it. They actually aborted it in South
abortion
Africa.
is not accepted.
Accepted,
Like,
yes.
not like that. You know, the idea of abortion.
So
And you knew about
it,
and you went ahead to do it.
Well, so we are looking at it
fascinating.
from the moral aspect, but they were also looking at it from the financial
emotional
expert and the emotional expert aspect of it. So I am carrying a child, and I'm being told my child would end up being a sickle cell patient. So in this regard, it's kind of telling me that at the end of the day, I would have to be running in and out of the hospital. I would spend much, and at the end of the day, my child might even die. So when we go further to discuss some of the complications that comes with sickle cell, you realize that it actually affects most of our organs, the liver, the heart, the spleen.
wow,
It's a whole lot.
it's a whole lot.
So they can have multiple organ damage, and the child might even die. Majority of them don't even cross past 8. When they go above 8, sometimes their spleen being removed due to this sickle cell thing. So they considered all these things. I am sure they considered all these things, and they aborted the child. Came back to Ghana.
Interesting.
Came back to Ghana,
really
and in less than 6 months, the lady got pregnant again. And I was asking, will you have to travel to SA again?
So basically, we are saying
it comes with like you just
exactly.
Have to think. It's not easy.
It's
My
not
people,
easy,
like,
but you see,
I know.
It's not easy.
I know. Sometimes
I'm so passionate
Yes.
about it because
Yes, I know. You don't even want to talk about. You don't even want to talk about some of the things you have experienced.
I don't know. Why do you have to risk something you know
Yes.
you can prevent?
Yes.
So why would you have to?
they feel they have the funds to do that.
It's not even about the funds per se. Ajay, is it about the funds? Sometimes even the timing. We have days where you want to do something, and because of your crisis, you can't do it.
You can't do
So
it.
sometimes we should think about the kids we want to. What if they make school some of the days? What if?
Oh, they will definitely miss school. When the crisis comes,
wanted
they'll
to be a
definitely miss
doctor.
school.
Okay.
Because I want to, you know, I'm this
You want to be
this
playing
person
with
who,
humans,
yeah, help and all that. But there was a point I told my dad, I can't.
The strength, or is it the strength? Or
Yeah, I'm not disputing the fact that a lot of there are sickle cells who are doctors.
Yes, I've
but
seen
you know,
some
it's a personal something.
Yeah.
It's an individual decision.
Yeah.
You look
Because
at yourself,
yes.
what goes for you,
Yeah.
what goes well for you, then you adopt that. But if the fact that somebody who is a sickle cell is a doctor doesn't mean that
You
should
should
push
also-
me to.
yes.
No, I know my system.
you know your strength, you know your
Exactly,
system.
I know
you know what
I
you
want
can
to
contribute.
do.
Because I think you stay in class from morning till
And
evening.
let me just chip in this. You see, I actually understood where you are coming from. Sometimes stress actually complicates the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Vigorous exercise also complicates some of these things. And so, if you want to put yourself in a situation where you would have to, we all know how the medical school operates.
Yes.
So you are almost very busy with your books
Your book, rather.
or in at the ward doing something.
Ward rounds,
This
theatre.
stress will not actually help you. You get it? So it was actually a good decision.
Oh, that,
But
And
yes,
even with this one, when you go to the hospital, the ward, there are so many like people who are actually sick,
okay.
and you being, it's like
So you can imagine going through a crisis. Exactly.
You can easily get
the infection that the people
exactly. So that's why, you know, sometimes I visit people at the hospital, but then now I have stopped.
Yes.
Because of my condition, not because I don't want to do it or something. And there is this orphanage programs we go to.
Yeah,
I used to do all these things.
Some of the
but
stuff
lately they advise me that, you know what?
Yeah.
Stop.
So is it that you should avoid the crowd
exactly.
too?
Okay. You see, so I'm being very careful because infection is, you know, something you can easily.
And it's like, you know, when you study your system and you know yourself, there are things that you think are very comfortable for you, and you have experienced it, HAJIA. You have been able to experience it till 30 years. This is really, really interesting. And I think you're an inspiration to I think the young people growing with sickle cell. There are some people, even at the, let's say, at the tender age, they are told that, oh, you die early. They are told that you can't get to this particular.
You can't do this. You
can't do
that.
They even tell them you can't even get to the university level.
Exactly.
So HAJIA, how did you do it? I want to know, where did you get that strength? How?
You know, I bounce back to where you coming from.
Okay.
Okay. Your parents.
Okay.
The next person to you.
Okay.
Your guidance.
Okay.
These are people that, you know, their contribution into your life can either make you or
break you.
Yeah. Okay.
That's true.
But in everything I do, I put God first.
Okay.
And tell myself that, God, you know why you created me.
Yeah.
And you know, gave me the sickness. Yeah. And I know you can do something out of it for me.
Okay.
Because he knows why he did that.
Okay.
And like I always say, everybody is created with a purpose.
Yeah.
So you find that purpose.
Yeah.
Then you execute whatever you have to do to get where you want to get to.
Okay.
Sickle cell shouldn't limit you.
There shouldn't be any limitation.
So you try as much as possible to associate yourself with people who give you, you know,
inspiration.
Exactly.
And those who understand you.
Exactly. Yes. So there was this time when I had admission, I was supposed to go to school. My father was like, no, he doesn't want me to go. But why? He wanted somebody always to be close to me, but the person should understand my condition.
That's it.
He doesn't want me to be a burden to
someone. Yeah.
So all the time he's on campus. My mom, she's always with me.
Okay.
Because there are times I have to write my exams at the hospital, on my hospital bed.
Wow, interesting.
Several times.
Then you're really, really strong. Yes.
You see, so all of this, I just want to advise people that if you know anybody who's sickle cell, either in your family, your colleagues, your whatever, just try and sympathize with the person.
Is there a notion of stigmatization? Have you ever experienced like being stigmatized? Really? The person knowing your condition?
I have one chapter in the book.
Okay.
Topic which talks about when her trophy fell.
Okay.
That was in school, way back in school.
Okay.
We were seated at the bench, lover's bench, and then she was eating this toffee, and then one fell down. I picked for her. And she was like, don't give me some of your sickness.
Oh.
That day.
You were like, what is
this is so like
yeah, because they see you always sick and all that, so they are, and this is not any communicable thing.
No, yes, you see, sickle cell is actually
so this is what we face.
This is a genetic from birth.
So
it is from
birth.
Birth.
That should show you how ignorant we are about sickle cell.
I just want to say, I'm not saying it on behalf of them, but I want to say sorry for whatever that person did. Because it's really, really disheartening, and it's really, really sad.
It's past. You know, this shows you something. Like, this tells you how people, you know, take all these sickles. That's why I'm doing this advocacy thing. Because we have to educate. We need to educate them. People. For them to know that this sickness is just, you are born with it. And it's not
you didn't
something
choose yourself
to
it's
not something that you see. So they should just learn. They should read about it
and accept people.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I always say that if you have a situation or a condition, you try as much as possible.
To become a master of the situation. You accept it.
Yes. So
Yeah, when you accept it, no matter what somebody tells you, it's just
no, you don't even pay attention
No.
to it. You just
No.
let it go.
no.
You see, I think that looking down or looking back to the communities where we come from, look, let's be real. Let's use the Zongo communities for example.
Okay.
We are all Muslims. We all grew up in the Zongo community.
Okay.
It's like a family that has a child that is always falling ill. There's this kind of stigma. There's this stigma. So I wasn't actually surprised when that
She
thing
said-
happened, but I was only looking at the environment at which that thing actually
Because I
happened.
feel like in an elite environment, it's not even
Some of
happened.
these things shouldn't have happened. But in our communities, I have a friend who is about 23 or 24 years old, a male. He's SC.
Okay.
When the crisis comes, it's like nobody wants to get closer.
Wow.
The guy is there, he's struggling. We all know what happened to sickle cell, and then the hemoglobin and then the oxygen carrying
yes.
capacity. It's reduced. The guy is there suffering, gasping for air, needs help, can't shout. There are people around. No one wants to get closer
Wow.
because they are afraid that when they go, the guy would end up doing what? Transmitting wherever it is that
And
is.
which is
You get it?
Which is wrong. So
Sickle cell education has actually gone on. We actually have a sickle cell day
I even
that is
saw a
celebrated
foundation,
worldwide.
Sickle Cell
There's a foundation. You see, but our communities, our Zongo communities are just failing
but
to.
they'll change.
It will take
Inshallah,
time.
they'll change.
Inshallah,
It
it will
takes-
take
but
time.
just
But you
take
see,
time.
It will take time, but we'll try.
so you can imagine a child with this. We all know sickle cell disease actually comes with this jaundice.
Jaundice and-
Okay, so you can imagine a small girl or a small child walking with this yellowish coloration all over
So
the
the
eyes,
eyes and-
sometimes the skin.
The skin becomes
You get
yellow,
it?
the
Yes.
light
Really?
becomes
Yes, because
pale.
what happened is your liver that is responsible for taking your. Now let's even look at the lifespan of our cells in the first place. So we all know that the normal
red blood
cell have a lifespan of 120
20
days.
days, yeah.
That is what science is telling us. But in
a
sickling,
sickle,
the cell only survives between 10 to 20 days.
Wow. So
So the
just
rate
like
at
100
which
days.
100 days difference. You
From
get
the
it?
normal-
From the normal
Wow.
red blood cell lifespan. So what happened is the rate at which the sickle cells are dying and needs to be clear. It's more than what your liver can actually take out. So there's this thing or this pigment known as bilirubin.
Okay.
So it builds up and then it gives you this coloration.
Okay.
So you have a child that is walking with this coloration and everybody sees the child as
Maybe
an
even-
outcast. Do you get it? And the stigma starts from there.
Wow. Even when the person is a
Even
child.
when the person is a child. And the child didn't choose to be born
That
as a
way.
sickle cell patient.
Wow.
It was if anybody at all is to be blamed, is the parent.
That's true.
Because they were supposed to do the needful.
They didn't do it.
But let's ask ourselves, as at the time they were getting married, how was the education like?
This is
That's
interesting.
why I
You let
don't
me
blame
let
them.
Adia come in. Yes.
Exactly.
My parents, I don't blame them. But anybody who should go ahead to marry like from now
this-
to
From the
21st
21st
I blame the
generation.
person. Seriously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Seriously. And what you were talking about is so, clear and seen in fair people
Yes.
than even dark people.
Yes.
The jaundice.
There was
the
a time
jaundice.
I was so yellow,
Oh, okay.
like the yellow in your
really,
Yes.
like your skin color
Yes.
turned to yellow.
my leg, my palm, my eye.
Wow.
It was so bad.
I can't imagine. I
And
can't
yes,
even.
and I'm fair too.
Yeah,
so
really
it's
showing.
glaring.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's glaring.
So you can imagine. So I had to be indoor
Indoors
for
you-
some time.
yes,
Only
you-
my parents know what I'm going through.
So you have to hide yourself for
Yes,
some
even
time.
if somebody comes to visit or something, I have to wear my hijab to cover,
The whole body.
to avoid people's
Same.
yeah, you see. So it's not.
It's really not easy. I can't even imagine the experiences.
Seriously.
Yes. What?
Seriously.
Are you not being
in fact,
emotional now?
I'm
So people should just stop up this love thing and
Your health is important. This is getting interesting, but I'll go for a quick commercial break. We'll come back and delve in more. This is really, really interesting, and I hope you are learning a lot from today's section. Wow. We'll go for the quick commercial break.
Malama Fatima dabar dan Adam ai maka jifa ne na tsawon shekaru koko muggan aljanai sun mamaye gangan jiki an zaga babu magani haka zalika kasuwa ne kure babu kasuwa an maka jifar cutar hepatitis B da ma diabetes dalibi na neman fahimi koko ilimi don ci gaba da karatu sai a ziyarci reshin malama dangana don samun waraka an san mutum an san cinikin sa an gwada magungunan malama dangana kuma an shaida magungunan na magance cututtuka nan take magungunan na zuwa ne a samfarin garin powder sabulu ko komai an iya samu malama dangana a angon nan da ke Pokyasi ni ayi ka dau mota duk inda kake na zuwa a masama ka sauka Pokyasi ka nemi tashar Abule kuma ni ayi nan za ka samu inda malama dangana take don karin bayani kuma za ka kira akan wannan lamba 0244693612 malama dangana Allah ya kara miki dangana
Welcome back, viewers. Today has been very, very interesting in the discussions. It's getting to a point my guest and I are getting emotional. We care about the society. Hajia, you've taken, I hope you've taken a project that you want to do on sickle cell. Yes. You have something you want to do. Can you tell us what you really want to do?
My only, you know, the way I'm so passionate about this thing, it's like, you have to concentrate. Okay. You have to give your health 100%, you know, concentration. Because without health, you wouldn't have been here to, you know, be discussing about this.
Yes.
Without good health, somebody wouldn't see you and say, oh, I want to marry you.
Okay, that's true.
Without good health, you can't go, you know, to wherever you, even work, that, you know, you can't do it. So what are you supposed to do? You know, so I want to educate the people.
Okay.
You know, in Africa here, we have so many issues that have to do with this.
Yeah,
especially in our Zongo community.
Yes. Yeah. But you know, our Zongo, we have this notion. Oh, Allah, a cow. Allah,
God created it, so God will take care of it.
I even have someone who said, she may be Marco from hospital. She doesn't even pass him.
Yeah, Allah,
yes, yes.
Allah da kanshi ya ce kama ka nemi makanka lafiya aka ce ko ina ka baka da lafiya ka san kaman da ka je ka samu lafiya ka je ko ba haka ba so aka ce a good health whatever is next to
they say that the best you can give to your family and the people around you is a healthy you. Yes. If you are not healthy, if you are not sound, there are a whole lot of things you can't do for yourself, neither can you do it for your family or the community. So I think that it's high time our Zongo communities sit up, kind of take some of these things, very important. My issue is there've been a whole lot of activities going on, especially with sickle cell in our Zongo communities. Look, there was a time we decided to organize this health screening free for our Zongo communities. Trust me, you go there, no one wants to come around.
This is interesting.
They would only come out when you have goodies to give to them.
Yes. I don't want to cut you short, but I want to talk about an experience. It's not really with sickle cell, but there is this German immigration campaign. They are all over Facebook. So they came to the community here and decided to have a talk on illegal immigration. Okay, so there was a video display how people die in the desert, how people, even those who take that floating boat to travel outside, how risky it is. Then at that moment that they finished the video, then somebody shouted, "Kumeba muzua Libya kumani." So
you can imagine, so it's just ignorance.
It's like, I don't even want to say if it's ignorance, but It's our mindset.
It's the mentality.
Yeah,
It's the
the
mentality.
mentality.
Yes.
Yeah.
The mentality.
HAJIA is the
The
And
mentality.
we need to change this
That mentality. So
Yes,
Yeah.
so we need to
We
change
need
it.
to.
Because generations to come, they need to change certain things. We didn't get it right.
yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
And we have to pave the way for them to get it
For the
right.
next
to be able to-
generation.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's true.
So why do we have to, you know, come on.
So there's this is it an organization or yeah, I think it's an NGO made up of this Muslim in the health sector.
Okay.
I've forgotten the name of it. I think I saw it somewhere else.
Yes, I've seen Muslim health workers. something.
Muslim health workers something. Yes, so it brings together all the Muslim youth that are into the health sector. So the nurses, the midwives, the doctors, the lab scientists, and everybody. I think it's high time we take some of these projects to partner with
With
her,
HAJIA, yes.
like a survivor, someone who has actually gone through the struggle living with sickle cell, yet she was able to strive to success.
Yes.
We need to partner with her. I don't know how we can actually get in touch with these people, but I think it would
Yes,
be a good
I
thing.
know
I
some of them
yeah.
are watching us because
Yes, I
they've
think
been on the
Nasiba,
yes, they've been on the show. They are
Yes,
watching
so you
us.
can
There's
actually
some
partner with
associations
them.
and
Yes,
those people,
yes.
a couple of them called.
Called-
yes.
Yeah.
Even Umma Initiative also have something
Okay.
like that.
So we are
partner with
asking them,
and
we are
And you know one thing,
Yeah.
I just have this thing to do, which has to do with the Muslim community, maybe the chief imam or something, so that we get a requirement, including this medical thing, that anybody that is going to get married, they have to check.
HAJIA, I'm
The
not even
Christians
cutting.
do.
Yes,
Why
I'm not
don't
cutting you
they
short.
want
There's
to
a
do it?
brother here. There's a brother who is a Ghanaian who wanted to marry a Muslim lady in Togo. He was actually given a medical form in
of
French,
course, in
to
French,
come
to come to Ghana,
and
translate
fill
it into English and
fill
to fill it.
So they have a system there, but here we don't have that system. They don't. Some of them, HAJIA, I wouldn't lie to you. And Rahina, I know someone sitting here who will tell you, I don't believe there is sickle cell.
Of course,
Yes, it happens.
Of
You
course.
don't believe it.
of
Yes.
course.
Wait until I get
Of course.
license, Allah, then you see.
Oh,
Of
don't
course,
feel-
you see,
easy.
Yes.
until you witness or you
You see,
you
the-
see somebody
crisis.
going through the
I know.
sickle crisis.
you don't believe.
You
They'll
wouldn't
tell
believe
you.
it.
You tell them, oh, they come to the hospital, they see us. You
Yeah.
tell them, oh, there's this. They'll tell you, no, I don't believe it.
You don't believe it.
Yes.
And then when
So-
you don't take care to, you go into it, and when you die, Allah is going to ask you.
Ask you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, it's an amana. A child is an amana.
You
God
be
is
cautioned.
God
You
is
are
giving
accountable
to
for
you.
it.
So
Interesting.
you have to.
Wow. Time is actually not on our side, but I would like you to wrap up. At least say something small about your book and your what you want
Yeah.
to do. Like what you want to do. Just a little, just a
So
few minutes.
I have a project coming up, and if you buy this book
Okay.
is actually 30 Ghana.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
30 Ghana
affordable,
cedis.
yeah.
It's very
Very
affordable. And if you buy it, you're not just buying it, but you are buying to, support
A
my
project.
project,
Wow.
upcoming project I want to do. Sickle cell. You just have to,
Yes, you have
grab
to.
a copy.
Grab a copy. Please, HAJIA, a quick one. Just tell us where we can get copies.
Okay,
We just
so
want.
you can call 055 779 7979.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
The number again.
Slowly.
055 779 7979.
Okay, so you grab it. When you grab this
Grab
book
it.
here, let me show it to you for you all to see.
It's
When you-
also at the Cantonment Police Mall.
oh, okay.
Yeah, and yeah, so that's it for
Okay.
now.
And
We are
those who
working on
follow
Amazon.
HAJIA too on Facebook can see the other areas where they can get the book outside Accra. Those outside Accra.
That's
And even if you want it to be shipped to you, it's going to be shipped to you.
Yeah.
Get it. Read about it. There's something interesting you're going to find. And even if you read about it, you can have a library. Your children will come,
Will come,
and they also
exactly.
read about it. They can educate the next community.
That is why I didn't even use big English.
Yeah.
I just used
I read and I realized
that you can understand.
understand
Then
it.
no need for you to go
and look for a dictionary.
Yeah.
So one thing I
Doctor,
actually like about the book is the fact that she actually outlined the complications that
Okay.
has to do with sickle cell. So
Okay.
how sickle cell actually affected her hearing aid, how sickle cell can actually affect your organs, just like we said. It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. So I think it's buying those 30 sodas. It's worth it.
It's worth it. It's affordable.
It's worth it. And very affordable.
And book, when you invest in book, you've not thrown
so
your
they
money
say
away. That's
the best investment is investing in
knowledge.
In knowledge, nobody can take it away from you. So that's
But Auntie Rahina, you have to say something small. Wrap up, at least. You know, we had an interesting discussion, and it's a whole lot.
It's a whole lot.
But we just want you to talk about.
It's a whole lot. So for me, what I have to say is, you out there listening or watching us right now, sickle cell is real, just like any other thing. In as much as it is genetic, present as birth, I think that alone should prompt us to want to know our sickling status before we get married. If you are already married, it's not too late. You can still walk into any health facility. Trust me, it doesn't cost anything. I think the minimum is like 10 cedis.
20 cedis.
The maximum is like 20, 30 cedis to just have your sickling status checked for you. If you are married and you find out, you would know what to put in place in case you give birth to a child with the sickle cell disease. If you are not, and you get to know, at least it will also help inform your life partner. And so you would end up cutting down a whole lot of
before you
even fall in love. So now we tell you.
Yes, so
before you fall in love, please hold your sickle cell card.
Sickle cell card. Okay. I have colleagues. Yes,
this is my sickle cell.
I actually have friends that will tell me that, like, Rahina, you know, I'm actually a hot cake. I'm sickle cell negative, so my genotype is HBA. I am blood group O positive, so no guy can actually flex on me.
So when you know you are hot cake. Wow, interesting.
Yeah, so it doesn't cost anything. Just walk in there, have yourself screened, and it's for life. It doesn't change.
And please, when you go to the hospital, the specific. You want to check your sickling status or your genotype, not blood group. Blood group is different from because some people, like you said, when they say they are O,
they think that
they think they are sickling negative.
But sickle cell can actually be O positive and be sickle
cell. I also want to think about. I'll get in touch with you. I want us to draw a plan for our medical exams. It's not only sickling. It's not only blood.
It's not only
So I'll let you come in touch.
Even with those blood-borne diseases,
we can send a letter to our leaders. Doctor is here. We'll get other. If you are watching us today and want to be part, you can contact MSTV. Tell us you want to be part of the health team. I know we will get support from MSTV too, to bring the awareness. They are willing to force it. We need to force it on our leaders. They are willing to support. They have been doing a lot. MSTV have been doing a lot for the community, and MSTV is also having another this thing. They have MS auction cars. If you need a car, you just pay 60%. They will just want to know your budget, and then voila, you drive your dream car. MSTV is located at Nima, near the post office, and opposite the Tania Islamic School, Nima. Okay, this is where time will permit us. The discussion has been so interesting. I wish we can have another section if MSTV will allow us. It has been really, really interesting. Thank you so much to my crew members, and thank you, HAJIA and Dr. Rahina. HAJIA ADIZA BALA, thank you so much for coming. You've really, really inspired us. And Dr. Rahina, thank you so much. MSTV crew, Big Moses, Mr. Tunde, Brother Isa, thank you so much. We've really had an interesting discussion. See you same time next week as we bring you another section on Health Canon. Bye.